Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Football Talks. This is your morning show every Sunday that we do, where we go through the tabloids, we go through the newspapers, all of the news stories online, hitting the headlines with all of the Premier League teams. The significant stories, there are quite a few of them. There really are. The Marcus Rashford wants to be the next Yamal. The Lamine Yamal, Marcus Rashford. You can see there, great quality thumbnail there done by Kaz on that one. Absolutely love that image of Marcus Rashford. He has been talking, and I'm sure you've seen the interview. We'll go through a couple of bits from that interview on what his dreams are, who his favourite player was, what he wants to do in the future, and where he sees himself. He is pushing the Barcelona side of things big time at the moment, Marcus Rashford. Getting a little bit ahead of himself, I'm going to be honest. I feel like he is... I think he needs to be put back in line. You all know what my thoughts are on Marcus Rashford from a Manchester United point of view. But if you are an opposition fan, please do get in with your comments. Where do you think Marcus Rashford should play? We're talking about Marc Guéhi and that move. Now, Marc Guéhi threatening now to actually stay at Crystal Palace. More information on that one as well. And what striker are Liverpool going to buy? Can they afford to bring in another number 9? Struggling to move on the likes of Núñez at the moment. No bidding for him. Osimhen is a target, we know. And we are looking at the news from the week of the Alexander Isak transfer, the potential of that transfer, whether that actually is feasible for Liverpool now. It doesn't look like it at the moment unless they make significant sales. We're going to get through all of that and get you in the chat as well, everybody. Get your comments in. We're going to start with, obviously, that Marcus Rashford interview that he did, where he's been talking about where he sees himself going forward, how he would love to join Barcelona, love to play alongside the likes of Yamal. Let's see what happens, he said in that one. More importantly, on that one, he said his idol was Thierry Henry growing up. And I'm like, really? Thierry Henry? Like, of all the Manchester United legends at that time, is he just got a bit of an issue with Manchester United at the moment? Has he fallen out of love with his boyhood club? Because I'm sorry, like Thierry Henry, fantastic. But if you are a young Manchester United fan growing up, your idol is not Thierry Henry, particularly with the legends that were around at Manchester United in the time that Marcus Rashford was growing up. You could bring in the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, for God's sake. You could bring in the likes of Robin van Persie, Wayne Rooney, players like this at Manchester United, absolute legends. You could talk about Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, all of these players. Well, Rashford was growing up, and he chose Henry. Seems like a bit of a jab to me, that, to be honest. I mean, obviously, it could be. Look, I don't know. I don't know what his young life was. I don't know what it was, or if Thierry Henry was the man for him. But besides that, Rashford's push here and the whole thing, I think this was set up, personally, and get your opinions in on this. I think this whole interview was set up just to try and push across his love for Barcelona, where he's done the interview in Spain and everything like this. It just looks like, for me, it just looks like, and I'll get your thoughts on this, like his agents and everybody's just trying to make it look like he belongs in Barcelona. It's just set up that way. That's how it seems. Talking about what his best position is. Picking a position that he never really has played throughout his career consistently or even done well in. He didn't even play there for Aston Villa that much. Yeah, sometimes when he played ahead of Ollie Watkins, you could say that and argue that point for Marcus Rashford, but as a number 9 now, Marcus Rashford is trying to sell himself as. He's not a 9. He never will be a 9. He's basically, for me, I think he's picked out that Barcelona front line. Let's you look at it right now. So you've got Rafinha, you've got Lewandowski, and you've got Lamine Yamal. So Yamal on the right, Lewandowski in the centre, and obviously Rafinha is on the left-hand side. Fantastic season. Absolutely dynamic, mind-blowing front line that is arguably one of the best in Europe. Could be right up there. There's a few that you could argue are better, maybe, but still, it's there, isn't it? And you're now looking at Nico Williams, and that news coming in that Nico Williams is going to be a Barcelona player. Significant news. Romano, everybody's talking about it now. It looks like the move for Marcus Rashford is dead. And no, that's not put Marcus Rashford off, because he won't be competing against the likes of Nico Williams and Rafinha on that left-hand side now. He's going to be competing against the ageing Lewandowski. because he is a number 9 now all of a sudden, Marcus Rashford. That's what he sees himself as. And he would love to play alongside Lamine Yamal because he knows he cannot compete with Lamine Yamal. And he isn't good enough to take his place away from him. I think that's what Marcus Rashford, he's picked out the weakest point in that attack and said that's his best position all of a sudden when he's hardly ever played there throughout his career. I'm sorry, Marcus, it's not your best position. Your best position is left attack. And there's 2 better players in that Barcelona side that are there. And that's why you've said number 9 in this interview. That, what I think, is where we're actually at right now. I do feel like Marcus Rashford is just picking out what I think fits best for Barcelona, just to try and push this move forward for him. I'm going to get into the comments on this now and give you your say and what you think is... Actually, tell me, where do you think Marcus Rashford's best position is, everybody? And where you think he would actually end up. By the way, at the top of the show, we did just gift out 5 memberships. We're going to do another 5 before the end of this show. We do need to get... what we're looking for in this is we're looking for 150 live likes on the show, and I will gift another 5 memberships out to the amazing people in the live chat right now. So if we do get over 150 likes, I think that will be a record on a Football Talk show, then we will be gifting out more memberships. We've already gifted 5 out, and welcome to the membership club if you are one of them lucky recipients. Get into the comments. Let's see. Look how he plays. Henry Rashford wants to play like Henry. It was class in a massive red, but Henry was the best Premier League player. It was debatable who was the best at the time, wasn't it? God, the good old days of the Premier League. When Henry was there, the Premier League was absolutely awesome. Some of the players around Henry's time, you could argue in every single big club in the Premier League, they had an absolute baller. There was some absolutely fantastic players, weren't there, in the Prem? When you go back to them early 2000s, it was a brilliant, brilliant league. I think it's better than. I think it was miles better than what it is now. I really do. Like Henry's era, when United had the likes of Van Nistelrooy in as their front man, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Beckham prime, Van Nistelrooy, you had Henry, Bergkamp, Perez. Giggs, Ronaldo, Rooney. Oh my God, yes. Bring back them days. That's what I say. Bring back them days. Never going to happen. I'd take them all day long. Leo with the chat says, the problem is Rashford wants to replace one of the best strikers on the planet. It's not going to happen. Do you know what? Lewandowski, nowhere near, not fit enough to lace his boots. Rafinha, you could argue the point, but Rafinha's actually taken it upon himself. Going from the likes of Leeds to Barcelona and smashing it the way he has. Credit to him. And it just goes to show there's always a club for somebody. Always a club for somebody. Yamal, he can't even touch. Nowhere near. Same quality. Left for dead. Nico Williams. I mean, to be honest, I didn't rate Nico Williams. Particularly in the United games for Athletic Bilbao. I really didn't. But let's just see how that pans out. Nico Williams is a good player. He's a very good player. And if you're going to spend that amount of money on a player like Barcelona are going to do, then clearly Marcus Rashford isn't top of your agenda. But the word from the Marcus Rashford side of things from Barcelona, so you're completely up to date, is that they see this as an opportunity they cannot turn down. It's a great chance to get someone like Marcus Rashford in at Barcelona on top. But they are going to try and push the loan deal for Marcus Rashford. So that is going to come down to what Manchester United want to do. I think there is, going off the sounds of it, an acceptance at Manchester United that a loan deal is doable for Marcus Rashford. And with him pushing everything that he's got to get to Barcelona, it might be the only way out. It might be the only way out. It will be interesting to see how much of Marcus Rashford's wages will be paid with this loan. Whether or not United pay a significant chunk, get a loan fee from Barcelona or something like that. United will play hardball with Marcus Rashford. The 2 biggest signings for Manchester United to get out of the club are obviously Anthony and Jadon Sancho right now. And that's what they're working on. So Rashford may just have to wait it out a little bit. But then again, Ruben will have a problem. Ruben Amorim will have a problem in pre-season with Marcus Rashford still being around, something that he didn't want to happen. So let's see how that one actually develops. Let's get a few more comments on this one. Rashford could maybe play as a striker in a partnership, but not as a focal point. I get that one, Liam. I could see that. You can get to this level if you have pace. That's crazy, says Daz, saying that is all Rashford has got. Rashford to Newcastle makes more sense, says Stu, than anything to me. I agree with that. I think it's a brilliant move for him, and he would get game time there. He's not going to get that game time at Barcelona. And let's not forget, in all of this, Marcus Rashford wants to play for Thomas Tuchel in the World Cup 2026. I don't think he plays enough games to make as much as an impact needed to get into Tuchel's mindset. Obviously, he's probably seen Tuchel's first 2 games he's walked into. God knows how. I really don't know. But he's probably thinking, right, I'm in with Tuchel here. I could probably still get this Barcelona move and move forward with Barcelona and get into the England squad still, even if I'm not playing that much. Yeah. Everton could take a punt on Rashford, says Jinxie. Everton, I don't think he's ever going to go near because he wants Champions League football, doesn't he? If he doesn't get to Barcelona, the Bayern Munich, Juventus and Inter Milan options are still there for Marcus Rashford. Rashford could not afford to walk around the pitch at Barcelona, says Babs. No, definitely not. Drogba was a quality striker back in the day. Was always jealous of Chelsea having him. Would have loved him at United. Drogba, Henry, Van Nistelrooy, Ronaldo, Rooney. Whoa, man. Ballack, Makalele, Essien, Lampard, Gerrard. Oh my God, there is some serious strike. Even the likes of Torres at Liverpool back in the day, Suarez, them sorts of players, ballers, weren't they? Absolute ballers they were. Keep Rashford away from the first team players if he's still here when they come back. If they come back in, send him home. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic and what actually happens at United when Rashford does come back, whether or not he's involved in training. There is a story going around that he isn't going to be involved in the tour. That is with him and Manchester United saying that as well. So far, we'll see what happens with that. And we'll see exactly what develops going forward. By the way, everybody, doing an absolutely great job on the likes. Thank you. Over 100 likes, 150 likes on today's live show gives another 5 gifted memberships to our amazing audience that you are. Keep your comments coming in on Rashford and that. I want to move on to the story regarding Marc Guéhi and his position right now. This is a situation that is now ever developing because Marc Guéhi has 1 year left on his contract right now. There's a story here from Jacob Steinberg who says Marc Guéhi prepared to see the final year of his contract at Crystal Palace if the right move does not materialise this summer. Liverpool interested, but Newcastle still very much in the mix. There is another story going around regarding Marc Guéhi of turning Arsenal down and prefers to move to Liverpool, which is, I think, the right move because he's going into Arsenal. Champions League, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Arsenal isn't a good move for Guéhi, but you've got Gabriel, you've got Saliba. Is he going to beat one of them two? That is like the Arsenal go-to backline. And I don't see him getting constant game time in that back. Konsa leaving for Bayer Leverkusen at Liverpool, on the other hand, I think this story here has legs. And I think Guéhi is a realistic target for Liverpool now. Obviously, Liverpool do need to probably sell a few more players, or maybe wait it out until the next financial year comes about, which is July 1st, obviously, and then they can start redoing everything. They've basically just spent everything that they had that they didn't spend last summer on this extended window in June ahead of everybody else and really stole a march on every other Premier League rival they've got this summer so far. So, good business from Liverpool. Bringing Marc Guéhi in would be a significant buy for Liverpool. I think that would be a dynamic, absolutely brilliant, rock-solid defence. I mean, Virgil van Dijk and Marc Guéhi at the back for Liverpool is dangerous. That with what Liverpool's midfield is, and that attack, which could potentially have Wirtz, Salah, and a striker. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but Guéhi at the back for Liverpool, he's an upgrade on Konsa as well. Good player, very good player, Joel Konsa, but Marc Guéhi is another level. He has shown that he has got qualities. But look at Marc Guéhi's situation right now and his side of things. And you're quite excited and comfortable, aren't you? You're looking at it and you're saying, look, I'm in Europe with Palace. First ever season. I've accomplished something that I didn't think I would at Palace. Winning a major trophy and having a European campaign. Obviously, that is still up for debate with the the sanctions that are going on right now and the situation with Crystal Palace dual ownership and not actually competing in the Europa League. We'll see how that pans out. But I feel if they don't get European football, Marc Guéhi makes a move. I think he wants out. I think he's willing to stay out and see out his last year of his contract. Why wouldn't you? You're going to play in Europe with your club that you've been successful with for a season, knowing that you're going on a free to one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League next season, possibly, if you pick of any of them, with a massive signing on fee. Could you not be in a more perfect position right now than Marc Guéhi is at Crystal Palace? It's just ideal, isn't it? The scenario that he has found himself in, he never would have thought that this would have happened. What a brilliant season for Crystal Palace. And now their best centre-back and one of their best players has got the option to either go this summer to a big club, Liverpool preference over Arsenal. I would choose Liverpool over Arsenal as well if it was me. And that's him moving from London as well. It would be easy for him to go to Arsenal. Doesn't need to move, doesn't need to upstick or anything, but he still would prefer to move to Liverpool. Says a lot for Arsenal. But I would play out that last year. What would you do, actually? What would you do in Marc Guéhi's position right now? Get into the comment section, everybody, on that one. If you're him right now, where would you go? Would you go to Arsenal? Would you go to Newcastle? Would you go to Liverpool? Or would you stay at Palace and play out that last year of your contract and then go and get that bumper move next season? I know there's always the risk of a big injury or the move not happening or something going wrong. But can you think that way right now? He's surely just thinking pure positive vibes right now and looking at that move and going, I can make this happen. I can make this happen in a year's time. I'll give Crystal Palace one more year in Europe. I do believe that the European decision, if Crystal Palace get booted out, that'll be a real shame. If you get booted out, I think he'll try and force the move and maybe make the club a bit of money. But maybe he's thinking that as well. Maybe he could be thinking, look, I want to give Crystal Palace the opportunity here. If I go now, at least I can get the club some money. Some fans might look at Guéhi at Palace now and say, go now. He's not going to sign a contract. Go now and give us some money. Otherwise, you're going to get the Trent Alexander situation that Liverpool had, where there's a fallout because he's not gone early and he's not got the club any money. That's how I see it anyway. We are, 26 likes away from hitting that 150 mark live. Thank you, everyone. And then we will be gifting out some more memberships to the lovely audience. Let's see what we've got in here. Talk to me about Guéhi, everybody, please. I've still seen the comments coming in regarding Marcus Rashford as well. Leo says, Adam, do Liverpool still want Isaac? Can they get him? Not at the moment is the answer to that, Leo. Moving on to the striker side of things in a moment regarding him. Arsenal already have Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Kuaya. Guéhi can be a squad player. A squad player? Guéhi is not a squad player. He's a starting 11. I think he goes to Liverpool. Personally, I think Liverpool's the best bet for Guéhi. If I'm him and I'm in the situation, I'm asking that question to him face to face right now. You got to make a move. Newcastle have tried to buy him. I think Newcastle went nearly as high as, was it 70 million? Last time out. 1 year left on your deal. I go with Liverpool because I know that there's space for me and I can play in a team that are champions, that I've got one of the best defenders in the world playing there right now that I could play alongside. It makes perfect sense. The only thing stopping Guéhi going to Liverpool, in my opinion, is if Liverpool have overspent, which I don't think they have, because like we've said, they've just spent last summer's budget now, and they're at what with Kirkez, Wirtz and Frimpong through the door. Approximately 190 million, I think it is, that they spent, somewhere around that. It's just shy of 200 million on them three players. 40 on Kirkez, 38 on Frimpong, 115 near enough with everything in on Wirtz. Yeah, just shy of 200 million pretty much that, isn't it? So yeah. And still got a little bit of room to play. Yeah, Liverpool, if I'm Guéhi, I'm going there. I was just about to say, Ashley Cole was only a fullback. I saw pocket Ronaldo one-on-one. Ashley Cole was the best left-back in the world at the time. He was, 100% agree with that one. And that's painful for me to say as an opposition fan, but you have to look at Ashley Cole, and say, phenomenal defender. Absolute brilliant player. Guéhi should stay at Palace and enjoy the European games with the team he helped get there. But what if he doesn't, Paul? What if they get kicked out? Would you make the move then as Guéhi? That's the question I'm asking right now. I would choose Liverpool personally. If not Liverpool, then I would go to Newcastle. Stay away from Arsenal, Ian. But who will Guéhi replace at Liverpool? Because Virgil van Dijk and Konate is already starting. Yeah, but he would take Konate's place. If you're buying Guéhi, it's him and Van Dijk. Konate, for me, sits back, I think, in reserve. He pushes him out. Gomez doesn't get near it. And I think if you're going to spend 70 million on a defender again, he has to start. And I think he is the future. I think they see him as the future replacement for the likes of Virgil van Dijk. Because obviously Virgil van Dijk is aging now. He's coming to the twilight of his career. But I think if you're bringing someone like Guéhi and you're bringing someone in there who's going to be like the next one, the next leader, the next captain coming through at Liverpool, I think it's quite sensible. I think it's quite smart, actually, from Liverpool for getting this one done, if they can do anyway. Before we move on to the striker side of things, that coffee's gone cold. Should have drank it quicker. The other news which is flying around at the moment, and I think this has been on the cards for a while, to be honest. It does look like Ruud van Nistelrooy's time at Leicester is coming to an end. Ben Jacobs come out. Leicester City are expected to sack Ruud van Nistelrooy on July 1st when that new financial year starts. July 1st is when contracts pretty much are up, is what Ben Jacobs is saying there. Leicester want to avoid firing two bosses in the same financial year, having already sacked Steve Cooper in that financial year. That, again, is a big part of it because of the expenses in sacking managers. Van Nistelrooy is only at Leicester because of their financial fair play situation, which is dire, and they are in big trouble at the moment. So Leicester looking to cling on to Ruud van Nistelrooy, then sack him in July. It's not good news, is it? It isn't good news. Not good news for Ruud. And if you're a Leicester fan right now, you're in the pits. You really are. You're thinking, where is this club going? Ownership, which is a mess. Complete disaster and turnaround at that football club from the glory years of Ranieri, picking up the FA Cup, Charity Shield, Premier League trophies. It's all gone wrong. We all know the disasters that have happened at Leicester, and it just seemed to have gone downhill from that day. Don't want to mention the obvious there in what actually did happen at Leicester, but we all know the story. It just doesn't seem to have recovered, and it's just gone into more and more debt. And now we're at a position where they're actually clinging on to managers, and just so they can sack him in the next financial year to balance books, to try and avoid getting penalties for financial fair play, because Leicester, I don't think, have got that bounce back factor in them this time in coming back up to the Premier League. I think the financial situation could really hamper them, and they have got good players. I think they're going to have to start selling players to meet the criteria for financial fair play, and I think they're going to be one of them. Like last season, all of the teams that got relegated ended up fighting to come back again. It's just like a bit of a bounce back sort of yo-yo situation at the moment, with championships clubs coming straight back up after being relegated. The parachute payments and everything that help out, it's a bit of an advantage to them clubs. But Leicester look like they could be an exception to the rule. And Ruud van Nistelrooy being sacked, I think, especially turning the financial year, tells you exactly where they are at. I don't think they're in a position right now to even... I don't even know who they're going to bring in. Actually, that's the thing. It's going to be a difficult one for them. It's going to be a tough old time for Leicester. Anyway, moving forward. Oh, actually, 4 likes away from the actual gifting of memberships. You have all done absolutely amazing on that one. Thank you, everybody. 1 second. I'm just going to try and sort this out here. Bear with me a second, everyone. Trying to get something else off my other screen right now. Alright, so I'm ready to go whenever you guys want to actually hit that 150 mark. So we did say if we got 150 likes that we would actually gift another 5 out. So go for it, everyone. You have almost made that. Well over 650 in the room. That is a record. Thank you, everybody. That is absolutely amazing. And again, I cannot thank you enough for the support on the channel. It is brilliant just to get some opposition fans in as well, and actually get you contributing in on the channel. It's starting to grow. It's starting to gather momentum. Really enjoying talking about other football as well, aside from Manchester United, as you all know. If you don't know, I do FUTV as well. You could be another subscriber coming in that doesn't know we have 2 channels running here. So this one just starting out this year. We're already growing. We passed the 5,000 subscriber mark the other day, which is great. So really buzzing with that one. And there's a few gifted memberships for you all there in the chat as well. You did an amazing job today, mods, in getting them up as well. And thank you to all of the members. Kind of went wrong for Leicester when their owner died in the helicopter. I could just say he seemed to know what he was doing. It does and has gone downhill for him there. It's a really sad story, Leicester's, actually, when you look at it. Babs has got one of the gifted memberships. I love that. Gray has got one as well. I love it. All of you hardcores getting your memberships. I love it. Thank you, everybody. Right, moving on. And again, the striker situation and what's happening right now. Liverpool, again, where will Victor Osimhen end up? If Victor Osimhen ends up at Liverpool, as an opposition fan, you have to be bricking it. That is a significant story right now. The story on it and what the tabloids and the reports are this morning are Liverpool do have to sell, as we know, but Napoli will not budge on their price. Now, we know that Napoli won't budge on the Osimhen price simply because they've already turned down bids from Al Hilal for him. Al Hilal then did come back and actually meet that price, which is about 64 million when you break it down from euros to pounds. 64 million for Victor Osimhen. That deal, when you compare that to the likes of Alexander Isak. Now, we've run the Alexander Isak story this week, and it has been of Liverpool still not giving up and are willing to break the British transfer record for Isak. They need to sell players for that to happen. There needs to be a lot of movement in, and that would be end of days for everybody else in the Premier League if Isak signed. But that is at stalemate. That's not happening at the moment. So we can breathe a sigh of relief. But Liverpool, realistically, could get Osimhen for half the price of what Alexander Isak's going to cost them. That right there is ridiculous. It's scary, isn't it, when you break it down like that? It's Osimhen and Isak. Osimhen, who has smashed it wherever he's gone, and is a serial goal scorer. Only 26. And he is half the price of Alexander Isak. That's Premier League proven premium player pricing for you there. There was a lot of P's in that then, wasn't there? Yeah, Premier League proven. Premier League proven. I can't even remember what I said now. Sorry. You can watch it back. But you know what I mean. So the difference from a Premier League striker to a overseas striker is what we're looking at there price-wise. And Liverpool would have. I mean, to bring in Osimhen, you don't have to do too much, I don't think. You could literally sell Núñez, who is a target for Saudi Pro League teams, sell Núñez, and then bring in Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen would transform Liverpool into an absolutely formidable force. Again, it's just, even as an opposition fan, I have to sit back, and I've said this on many shows now, on many videos, and I'm just going to say it live again. You have to sit back, and it pains me to do it. I don't like it, but I say what I see. Liverpool's transfer business has been absolutely outstanding this summer. And it has. I don't care what anybody says. You can argue the price for Wirtz all you want. They've countered that by getting 2 cheap fullbacks in at the highest level in Kirkez and Frimpong. I'm sorry, them 2 players on their own are scarily making Liverpool better than what they had. Because I would actually rate them better than Trent and Robertson. Honestly, I would. I think they offer more. I think Trent is lacking in defence. I really do. You could argue Frimpong's more of a winger as well. And he's probably a similar player. But I think he's a little bit more capable. He's gone from fullback to an attacking wing type of player, Frimpong. Kirkez speaks for himself. Good defender. Great going forward as well. Will be a brilliant signing for Liverpool. And Florian Wirtz, they've just taken advantage of having that money, like I said, from not having spent anything last summer and going in and beating everyone to the punch. City couldn't even compete with what Liverpool were willing to do for Wirtz. They were determined to get their man, and they got their man. You can argue the price all you want later down the line. But look, if Florian Wirtz helps Liverpool pick up that Champions League trophy, it's 115 million well spent, isn't it? And that's the type of player you need to bring in if you are going to get that trophy off the likes of Madrid, Bayern, PSG, who've got it now. Like, you've seen the levels that they are. You need to go some to get near that. That is quite scary in terms of how good PSG are. And I feel right now that is Liverpool, and that's what they're going for. They're challenging next season to defend that Premier League title and to win that Champions League. That's what this kind of transfer window is for Liverpool. That's how big this transfer window is for Liverpool. And these signings that they're making. It's massive. Osimhen, I think, takes you there as well. I would put Liverpool as outright favourites to win the Premier League and probably second favourites behind PSG for the Champions League if they bought Osimhen in. That's how big that signing could be. If you get Guéhi and you get Osimhen, that is the best transfer window and defence of any Premier League title anyone has ever made. A significant move. By that I mean, you've won a title, you're at the peak of your powers. That's the best defence in a transfer window. That's like moving on to the next level. That's the best window I would have ever seen. If you get Guéhi and Osimhen into Liverpool's side, then nobody can touch them. Nobody can touch them. I don't care what Arsenal do or what Manchester City do from that point forward. There's no way that they are. And the only thing that can go wrong here is too many players coming into Liverpool and it needing a bit of time to adapt. That's the only thing that can go wrong. Let's not forget, Slot walked in to a team that was completely settled and knew exactly what was going on. Changing 5 players, big significant signing, so half a team can sometimes disrupt, and you could maybe get off to a bad start or a shaky start. You've got to adapt, find your way. But let's not forget, Liverpool have bought their players early, so they've got a full pre-season. They will play all the way through pre-season now in their friendlies and everything with these players, and that transitional period will be a lot simpler. It's the perfect transfer window to do this type of, to make these types of signings, I feel, because obviously there's no World Cup, there's no Copa America, Euros, and the international games. Yeah, the Club World Cup, you could say, is in the way, but obviously that's only for a certain amount of clubs. So, perfect time to give these players a full pre-season. It's scary. Gyökeres is better than Osimhen in goal-scoring ability. Is he? Gyökeres has done it in 1 league, Osimhen's done it in 2. And he's a year younger. I don't know if that actually matters, but you know what I mean? There is an argument for both. City and Liverpool are going to be streets ahead of everyone else. If Liverpool can do it, there's no excuse for certain other clubs who spent a fortune. Yep, Liverpool are showing exactly what can be done if you get your structure right. I think Arsenal have done the same, but Arsenal haven't bought as well as what Liverpool have, I don't think. Liverpool have to be so confident in next season. It is time for other ownerships to show their card. Or card, is that supposed to say? Sorry. They'll be unstoppable, unfortunately, says Stu. I agree. Diaz/Gakpo, Osimhen, Salah, best attack in the Premier League. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not. It's scary. I don't like to say it, but I will. It is. It is a frightening one. It is a frightening one. Just looking at other news that is just coming up right now. That pretty much is all of your news, everybody. That is our show complete, by the way. That was absolutely brilliant. Could talk for ages and ages and ages about everything going on right now, but I've got a feeling we'll need to save some in the bag for some other shows going forward because there's going to be plenty going on. How the hell we got up to 35 minutes so quickly is crazy, but it just goes to show, doesn't it? It's great football chat. Thank you everybody in the show. We absolutely smashed the like record there today. We're almost at 200 live likes, so if you haven't given the video a like already, please pop a like on the video. Let's get that up to 200 before we finish. It would be great. Welcome all the new members that we have gifted out in the show so far. Absolutely buzzing with that. You are more than welcome. Your support has been immense as always, everybody, and the channel is growing from strength to strength. I just want to say thank you to everyone who is newly subscribed today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please, everyone. And we will see you in the week, and we'll see you in the next show. But for now, everyone, that is us all done. Thank you, and I will I'll see you later on. If you're watching later on FUTV, I'll be there. It's got a feeling there's going to be loads of news going around. It's going to be a busy one. But cheers, everyone. I'll see you all in a bit.